Right, shalom, shalom. First, I'd like to give all praises unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Waharakah Kadash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and honors to you brothers out there in the highways and the byways, teaching His word in all sincerity and in truth. Shalom to you brothers and sisters out there listening and learning and supporting the ministry. I just wanted to touch a little bit more on the situation that's unfolding in Ukraine. And I'm seeing the reactions of people here in the general population here in the UK and across the West, and these morons in the West are dancing to the tune of the lamestream media, the propagandist. Because if you watch Sky News, BBC News, you read these goofy newspapers over here, you're gonna get a whole different outlook. If you actually know what's going on, or if you watch like RT, they're propagandists too, but in a lot of these situations, all they got to do is tell the truth, which they do, and all of a sudden, all these people in the West, they're against war and they're crying, and this is horrible. War is horrible. And it's just sickening, the hypocrisy. The fact that, for the longest while, you've had a situation in Yemen where men, women, and children are getting blown to pieces by British weapons, and the media is silent on that. I mean, we could go on forever. The situation in Ukraine has been going on for like 8 years. People are being killed for 8 years. Nobody cared, But that's how it is in this society. It's all hypocrisy. People start caring on cue, like it's a movie, cameras up. Now, I wanted to show you this, because what's going on in the British media right now in regards to this situation in Ukraine is nothing but propaganda. Now, what is propaganda? Propaganda is information, especially of a biased and misleading nature, used to promote a political cause or point of view, right? Misleading, yeah? Manipulation, lies, fraud, deceit. And that's the way of Esau Edom. That's what his media is designed to do, to lie. All right. This is why we call this man the devil. Hold on. Right? That's what the devil does. The devil lies, manipulates, slanders. Right? Let's look up the word devil. So when we tell you that this man is the devil, people start acting up. Look up the actual definition of the word devil. It applies to this man. This man has mastered the art of lying, man. This man has mastered the art of lying. He mastered it. He's got degrees in it. You understand? He's got books on it, courses on it. I don't know about you, but I don't know no Jake that made no degree in lying. Even Joe Jake be lie as hell. Jake ain't got a degree. Right? Diablos. Yeah? What does it mean? Prone to slander, slanderous, accusing falsely. Yeah? A calumniator. Let's look up that word. That's got to be Esau. I'm looking at it and it's screaming Esau. Yeah? That's how this devil operates, man. Let's have a look. Definition. Person who calumniates, slanders, or makes personal attacks upon others. That's this devil, right? He made slanderous attacks towards the Native American Indians to justify killing them. He made slanderous attacks towards the so-called Negroes to justify enslaving us. That is the nature of the devil that we're dealing with, right? Slanderous attacks against the Arab man to go destroy him. That's how this man operates. All right. Now there's a gentleman who was the king of this, known as Edward Bernays. Every time you see a woman walking around with a cigarette in her mouth, Every time you see a woman in the hospital dying of lung cancer, yeah, it goes back to this guy, Edward Bernays, who figured out a way to manipulate women into smoking. Because initially, when the tobacco industry got people smoking, chewing tobacco and smoking tobacco was a thing that men did, right? It was so-called masculine, which you shouldn't be smoking no damn tobacco anyway. It's not masculine, it's fucking stupid and self-destructive. But anyway, during the women's liberation, which is another psyop, which was more propaganda, deceit, yeah, they Edward Bernays used the women's liberation movement in order to manipulate women into smoking cigarettes. So they would run adverts like, "Oh, don't let your man tell you you can't smoke a cigarette." You know what I mean? So basically, they made it look like it was men that were forcing women not to smoke cigarettes, to manipulate women to smoke as an act of rebellion. And you know where that ended up. And what was the purpose of that? So that the tobacco companies could increase their revenues double, because there's a whole other half of the population that they could get smoking down their cigarettes. Edward Bernays, all right. Edward Louis Bernays was an American theorist considered a pioneer in the field of public relations and propaganda. Yeah, public relations and propaganda is basically lying, twisting information, misleading the people. That's why you got big, massive corporations that have all this window dressing and tokenism, and you think they care about people and care about the world, but when you actually look at their actual operations, they're destroying the people and destroying the world. Why? Because they have public relations. Like McDonald's has good public relations. Forget about the fact they're poisoning your children. They are able to hide that using propaganda and public relations. It's like over here in the UK, you had this Donny, what's his name? You brothers from the UK would know, Abramovich. What's his name? What the hell is that? The Chelsea owner. I'm sure one of the brothers will put the name in the comment board. Abram, is it Abramovich? Damn, I ain't been into football in so long, man. I forgot the Don's name. Roman, that's it, Roman Abramovich. Now he ended up getting into a beef with another one of them Russian oligarchs, and they were in court together, right? Now Roman Abramovich, just like all the rest of them Russian oligarchs, them guys didn't become oligarchs in Russia by fucking tickling people, handing out flowers, and dancing through the tulips. If you was a Russian oligarch after the form of the Soviet Union, you was a straight cutthroat. You was a straight murderer. There's no doubt. That's just how it is. That's how you managed to grab up pieces of the Soviet Union and make yourself rich. So all them Russian oligarchs, they're real bad man, right? Yeah, that American World War II poster of the woman flexing a muscle. Yep, that's all propaganda. Changing the name from the Ministry of War to the Ministry of Defense, all propaganda. Yeah, it's a manipulation. But yeah, they were having a court battle, right? Now, Roman Abramovich, the reason he bought Chelsea Football Club was propaganda. It was to give himself a positive what's it called? World outlook, a positive view. The world would view him in a positive way if he's sitting at these games smiling and he's getting involved in English football. So he's like, yeah, he can't be that bad if he's got a football club and he's playing football. Meanwhile, this guy's a straight murderer. Now, the other guy in the court case, he said one thing. He said, look, he said, what's the difference between a rat and a gerbil? He said, what is the difference between a rat and a gerbil? And you know what he said? He answered the question. He said, PR. That's all it is. In fact, rats rats which are kept as pets are less aggressive and less of a danger to children than hamsters and gerbils. The only difference between a hamster, a gerbil, and a rat is public relations. It's the way that they are portrayed. You see? And that's Esau Edom. All right? Esau Edom is the ultimate propagandist. That's why he's able to push this image of himself, mainly through Christianity, of being godlike, of being perfect. Calling themselves so-called white in the first place is an act of propaganda, because the word white, we're going to get it up in a second, but let me read this scripture because it perfectly explains Esau Edom, man. Psalms 10:7 says his mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Yeah, that's all this man does. Deceit and fraud, beginning with their media, man. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret places doth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor. That is the nature of this devil. He's a vampire. Yeah, he's a vampire, man. And he's quick to point the finger up at others. Yeah, he's a hypocrite. That's what the word hypocrite means. You're an actor. That's why this man has to go. Right now, let's look up this word white. You're going to find out it means perfect, righteous. Which is why this devil's always getting the benefit of the doubt and all this madness, which he don't deserve. He's actually the real black people of the earth. He should be called black. They're the real black people. Right. Meaning of white explained. White is clean, simple, pure. It stands in stark opposition to black, and its meanings are unequivocal. As white light contains all the colors of the spectrum, it's an inclusive, impartial color, favoring no single hue and refusing to take sides. Right. It also represents perfection as well. Right. Associated with knowledge and learning. That's why everything they think this devil's so damn smart. Right. So even that is propaganda. Right. Now, that's been mentioned. I want to draw your attention. Let's get rid of some of these to the situation in Ukraine, man. Like, check out my man Jake Morphonios. It was the elder Ariella that first put me onto this guy Jake Morphonius. He's got the Blackstone Intelligence on YouTube, and he normally be bringing it out. And I was going through his feed, you know, just to stay up to date as much as possible on what's going on over there. And you got this image here, man, of this father. You know, he gotta say goodbye to his daughter, man, because he gotta fight. Right? This is the heinous reality of war. A Ukrainian father struggling to say goodbye to his little girl before reporting for duty to fight against the Russian army. He knows he may never see her again. War is hell. And he's right. War is hell. Yeah. War is hell on earth. It ain't heaven, that's for sure. Yeah, ball in the man the under. Yeah, he could be dead right now. Man, get the camera out the man's face, man. You know what I mean? Man, a soldier, and they got man out here looking soft. They got man looking real soft out here. But it is what it is. it's a good opportunity in it. But Yeah, look, man, you get ready for more of that, man. When the real wars really kick off, when the war goes global, when the big guns are involved. Because right now, Ukraine is just a little gun, man. They about to get swept in about 3-4 days, probably maybe 2 or 3 more days. The Ukrainian military as a whole is probably gonna have to surrender, and you're gonna have little spats, little rebellious groups here and there trying to put up a fight. But to the most part, this war is already over. It was over before it began. You know, Russia just they took these men out, man. But let's get these scriptures right here, man, because this is the time that we're going into. This is 2 Ezra 16:14. It says, behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they are come upon the earth. The fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth. Like as an arrow which is not shot of a mighty archer returneth not backward, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon the earth shall not return again. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, and the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation, and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment, right? Because this war thing ain't nothing new, all right? But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges, right? And you see that, right? As much as the Lord is plaguing this earth over the last 200 years and sending war and all kind of different things, guess what? The man them on the earth are moving forward with bare wickedness, man. LGBT and all that is moving forward. So the Lord's gonna be like, all right, okay, since you might want to still move forward, I'm gonna have to send something that's gonna really get your attention. It's like I said, this you thing in Ukraine, it ain't that big, so to speak. It's not no massive war. These men are dead already. My man Zelensky, the American puppet that the Americans put in there, he was gassed up. He had his little time. He thought he could do something over there because America and them man were backing him up. But where is he now? Hiding in a bunker somewhere, surrounded by Russian tanks, like a rat. And that's what you get for relying on America, man. That man ain't nowhere to be found when you need them. It's peak for him right now. My man's on the toilet right now, having diarrhea because he don't know what's gonna happen when them troops buck him up. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap on earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow on the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. So this is part of the sword growing in the earth. Famine's going to grow in the earth. Great confusion of the people is going to be growing in the earth, man. We told you that after this big seating that they were going to come with more crises, and be ready for this cyber attack thing too. They ain't finished yet. This ain't over yet. Daniel's 12 is coming. We ain't seen nothing yet. For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. Right? And the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them. For the earth shall be wasted, and the cities shall be cast down. So eventually, a war is gonna break out, which is going to encompass all these nations. It ain't just going to be right now. Is Russia? It's an isolated incident. It's the might of the Russian army of Mother Russia against Little Russia, because that's what Ukraine is. That's why this whole thing is a joke. Ukraine is known as Little Russia. Russia and Ukraine have a long-standing history, which is why the Russians were like, why are you trying to flip Ukraine into the EU side of things, into the NATO things, when you done no say that the Ukraine and Russia has always been together. So that's why they were like, nah, we're not having this. We're not having this, man. Get your puppet out of here. Get Zelensky out of here. Get that little rat out of here, man. Right? So right now it's just Russia versus little Russia. And you already know when a big brother set foot on the little brother, what's going to happen. Especially when the parents ain't there to break it up. So it's going to be a quick thing, right? They're already in Kiev, already. And it's been like a couple days. I want to jump down. Right, verse 32, and the earth shall be laid waste, and the fields thereof shall wax old, and her ways and all her paths shall grow full of thorns, because no man shall travel therethrough. The virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms, the women shall mourn, having no husbands, their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. Yeah, like as you see, this is gonna be the daughters are gonna mourn, man, because daddy got blasted out of there, man. Man got turned into mince meat, and that's how it's gonna be. All right. But let's have a look. Cause right now over here, these men are talking about how evil Putin is, and like, hold on. I was like, oh yeah, because I remember when Putin invaded Iraq for oil and killed 1 million Iraqis, men with mostly women and children. Yeah, I remember that. Who remembers that? You remember when Russia invaded Iraq and killed 1 million Iraqis? Yeah. Them Russians are real evil bastards for real, because America and Britain and NATO, they don't invade countries at all. They've never done that. You know, it's not like America invades countries in constantly blowing people up. Yeah, I remember when the Russians, Afghanistan as well, the 10-year war in Afghanistan. That was the Russians as well. It's all the Russians. Yeah, it is a joke. Let's go through a bit more of this information, this news. Yeah, man, on Twitter, don't just be on TikTok watching the twerking and the jokes. You need to get on Twitter and get man like Jake Morphonius up on these man to be bringing it out. Let's have a look at what's been happening here. So 28 minutes ago, the United States rat Zelensky, encouraging Ukrainian civilians to get out and block the roads. This man is a murderer. Hold on. This man wants civilians. Here it is. For the last 8 years, this man have been provoking the Russians. And now he wants the civilians to go out there on the streets in front of Russian tanks. With what? And take on Russian tanks with Molotov cocktails while he sits in an underground bunker is utter cowardice. You're damn right. This guy's a joker, man. Hey, this Zelensky guy, boy. Whoa, wow. Is that how man going in, yeah? Mankind, wicked and evil, but it's so ironic that the West paints Putin as Hitler, more propaganda, when the indisputable fact is that Ukraine's military has a bastion of real-life Nazis among its forces. Yeah, and it's been like that since the revolution. I remember the revolution in Ukraine. It was bare Nazis back in and far right back in the revolution. Just showing you how this whole thing is madness. They got actual Nazis in the Ukrainian army, and then they're calling Putin Hitler. This is a joke thing. Absolute joke. And then some idiot went and standing in the middle of the road to block off the Russians. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. He lucky. The Russians is merciful. Right, let's have a look at this. Look at that. Ukrainian air base. They've pretty much taken out most of the Ukrainians' facilities already. But this is just a little thing, man. I want to show you the Russians released all the different military installations. There we go. Russia's defense ministry has reported the following update on its invasion of Ukraine. Russian troops have disabled 118 military facilities, including 11 airfields, shot down 5 Ukrainian jets, 1 attack helicopter, and 5 drones, destroyed 18 Ukrainian tanks, 7 multiple rocket launchers, 41 vehicles, and 5 boats, and seized control of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. Right, and I believe that they're currently in Kiev at this moment as well. So they're about to lock down. This thing is about to be over. They're in the streets of Ukraine. Oh, this was interesting. The commander of the Ukrainian troop forces, Yuri Galushkin, has announced that all age restrictions for joining the defense forces has been removed. Anyone of any age is now being encouraged to immediately enlist. Them man ain't gonna enlist, man. It's a losing battle, man. Let me show you brothers something, man. Little Russia. Yeah, let's have a look. We're gonna take Russia. That's why the elder said, "Don't get excited because this ain't it, man. This ain't World War III. I know Esau's propaganda machine. This is just a skirmish. That's gonna lead up to it because Ukraine is a very important strategic point for Russia, but it's not gonna cause World War III to break out tonight. America and them, man, are not gonna get involved. If they were going to get involved, they would have already done it. You don't get involved after your man already got smashed to pieces. Let's compare the what we're dealing with here. So Russia's ranked number 2 in the world. Ukraine's ranked 22. Right? Respectable. But look at the available manpower of Russia compared to Ukraine. It's a joke thing. Yeah? Look at that. Look at every metric. It's not even a proper fight. Yeah? Look at the air power difference between Russia and Ukraine. Little Russia, man. Yeah, that's why they've already been swept. Look at this. This is ridiculous. Land power. Look at it. Yeah. So you see, this thing's over, man. By next week, you know, everything will be normalized. So don't get too excited. And I'm gonna post this. I'm probably post it as well. You can read through it if you want to read through the history of Ukraine and Russia and what's going on. And it's a pretty good article, but I ain't gonna go into it now. I just wanted to touch on the propaganda thing and have a look at some of these updates. This is Ephesians 5:15. It says, "See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time because they are evil." And that's a beautiful scripture. We gotta stay locked in. Keep our eyes open. Remember prophecy. But we're in a time where these prophecies are gonna start popping off more and more. So we gotta stay vigilant about what's going on. But we also gotta stay sober and don't be drawn in with the propaganda of this world, because the way these men are going on over here in the UK, you'd think World War III was going to start tomorrow, and these men are just doing with a whole bag of sanctions talk. It don't make no sense. Like, what is you talking about? All right. So stay locked in. All right. Esau is going to continue to lie and scheme, but his day is coming, man. There's going to come a time when there's going to be no talking, and this thing's really going to go to the highest level of war, and really it's going to begin in the Middle East, man, because there's one ally. I'm going to show you. I can't say the name. There's one ally of America that they will never be able to leave. See, like how Zelensky's hiding in the hiding away in a bunker somewhere, and America ain't doing nothing. Oh, see what I mean? Boy, let's touch that. There's one. I'm gonna just show you who I'm talking about, and you know, there's one, there's one ally that America would never leave, right? So you already know what's gonna have to go down. Look at this right here. Why who faces new dangers in shadow war against Iran if nuclear deal is agreed. So that situation is still there and ongoing. You already know how that's gonna end. And America ain't gonna do in this place what they're doing in Ukraine right now, which is basically standing off. They gonna jump in. And we already know that if America and you know who attack Iran, Russia ain't gonna stand there. So we already know what's gonna happen in due time. But before all that happens, certain other events have to take place, the MOTB and these things. So just keep your eyes open, stay sober. We almost out of here, man. So that was just a quick little update. I just wanted to show you this. Follow my man Jake Maphonios on Twitter, man, if you want to get some good information as it's happening. Yeah. Blackstone Intelligence. Yeah. Check that out. Let me post this article here. Good article. Post it right here. So you brothers and sisters can give that a read. So you're not like these morons that don't know anything about the situation. All right. And I'm out, man. Shalom.